it seems that I have to do this at least once a year. Possibly more if I cared more. I guess I do care enough. It is, wait, let me get myself in a better light. Anyway, I was just on Instagram a couple days ago, and there was a wonderful post about whatever cuteness in the Lego, and it was a guy saying, making a cute little post saying that adults get to play with Lego too. Except he got basically the video says Legos is for adults too, and half the responses to his, I guess he's some sort of influencer, because unlike me, which is okay, he had thousands and thousands of subscribers, tens of thousands or whatever, because he had a lot of millions of likes or hundreds of thousands of likes, and half the responses to this wonderful cute little 30-second blurb, half the responses is you have to call it Lego, not Legos. And a lot of them says, oh, we know you're not a fan because you use the word Legos. I am sick to death of toxic gatekeeping. I've talked about it in other hobbies and other appreciations of mine, like Star Trek and blah, blah, blah. I am literally sick to death of every time somebody gets on there and posts something cute, something fun, something just appreciating the hobby that we're all part of. That people invariably have to get on there and say, it's Lego. You can't say Lego, you have to say Lego bricks. And I'm gonna come at it from the fact that out of all these people who posted this thing, I can guarantee you none of them have this. I can guarantee it. The Lego company said this to me. Because I made a movie back in 1984 where I guess there was some copyright infringement. So I know pre-internet, I knew back in 1987 when I got this, that the Lego company wanted the fans to call it Lego bricks. They don't want Legos to be plural. You can't just say, oh, look at my box of Legos, or look at my Legos that I play with, because they didn't want to dilute the brand. And I am not faulting them at all for not wanting to dilute their brand, because Kleenex and other things that are now in the public domain, so you can't, Kleenex could not copyright or keep their copyright on their brand name, because all the other companies who make tissues, nose tissues, were also called Kleenex. So they allowed their brand to be compromised, and I fully understand that. So the difference is Kleenex is a corporate name or brand name that got diluted. Lego is a brand name. What I call Kleenex, I can say Kleenexes when I point to a Kleenex box. I can say Kleenexes. I don't say Kleenex. Oh, you can't say Kleenex. I never saw the Kleenex company get irate with people calling actual Kleenexes out of a Kleenex box Kleenexes. You cannot dictate to the population, to the public. You cannot, a corporation cannot dictate to the public who are buying their product what we can call it. You can't do that. There's no law on the books at all that says because the Lego company wants us to call it Lego bricks and not say Legos. There's no law that says that that's what we have to do. Now, again, I want to be as clear as possible. I am a massively huge fan, and there's no denying how big a fan I am. I'm not the biggest fan. I am not the biggest influencer. I am not a big anything. I've been loving the Lego company and Lego bricks since I was my earliest memories to now. Never had a dark ages, blah, blah, blah. You guys all heard it. My thing is, every single time somebody posts a cute little video, or every single time somebody wants to talk about their Lego collection, oh, look at my Legos, and people just get their knickers in a knot and say, oh, you have to say Lego, it's grammatically correct. But that's BS. There's I was an English major once. there's not a grammarian textbook out there ever that says you have to call it Lego bricks, or you can't say Legos. the plural of Lego is whatever you want. Oh, but you know, the plural of moose is moose. Yes, it's not mooses, but that's the word moose. The moose, plural moose is moose, sure. But Lego is not moose. They're different names. Lego is a brand name. It is a copyrighted brand name. And the Lego company can say whatever they want. And we can, if we want to, adhere to their pronouncements in this book. They absolutely. And again, I have said Lego bricks. You heard me say it on this video. I will say Lego bricks, Lego brand, Lego whatever. But I also say this is my Lego room, and I play with Legos. I play with Legos. I build with Legos. I build with all my bricks. And I don't give a rip. And nor should you give a rip. And the issue is that if you want to call it Lego bricks and never say Legos, that's perfectly acceptable. You do you. Do not come on a wonderful thread, a wonderful video, a wonderful whatever, and put a stupid, vacuous, fatuous response. You have to say Lego bricks or Lego. You can't say Legos, because it shows you are a toxic gatekeeper. That's it. And oh, Dave, where are you getting your knickers or not? Because this guy made a nice video. And everything I've seen before, this person made a nice mock. This person did whatever. And he said, oh, I built this out of my Legos. Oh, you can't call it Legos. That infuriates me, because you are demeaning somebody else's effort for our hobby. You are gatekeeping stupidly and irrelevantly somebody else's passion for this hobby. Because you don't like the word Legos? I don't like many things in this world. There's many things I don't like in this world. And I don't go around saying, oh, you can't do that or you can't say that because I don't like it. I don't care about your feelings on this. I don't care about how you feel about this. For me, if you want to say Lego bricks, I'm going to fully support you. And I care for that. I care how you want to call it for yourself. Do not ever demean or degrade or make somebody else feel less of a fan. Oh, you're not a true fan because you used the word Legos. You can go away. If you ever think about posting that on anybody's thread, that, unless you're being sarcastic, in which case, if you ever feel like posting that anybody else's video, anybody else's mock, anybody else's whatever, and because they used the word Legos, and you say you're not a real fan because you used the word Legos, I will put my collection up. I will put my builds up. And I'm not a great builder, but I will put up my history with this company of 50 plus, well, almost 60 years of my interacting and loving and adoring and everything that this company's ever done. Everything this company has ever done, not supported. They don't care about me, but I've been here, loving it, and building with it. I never shook my fist in the general direction. They canceled monorail. They moved on. That's fine. I have enough monorail. They canceled Lambeau track. That's fine. I moved on. It doesn't matter. They and I said this before, they can make their corporate decisions however they want to make their corporate decisions. It's up to them. They don't have to kowtow to me or my opinion or my wants or my desires or my infatuations. They don't have. Who am I? I'm one person who really doesn't even hardly. Well, again, I just bought, Wednesday. But they don't have to kowtow to me. It's their company, and thus far, overall, they haven't let me down. So it doesn't matter to me. I want them to stick around. I want them to do what's best for their company. I want them to keep it on. But telling me, and again, if you don't know about this thing, they talk about trademarks. And they said right in page 6, right there on page 6, always distinguish the trademark in relation to other words in a sentence. Sure, if you want to. This isn't a grammar. This is not a grammar textbook. There's no law on the books that says we have to. My issue, of course, I was calling them Legos since I was 4, and I didn't get this. I was in my 20s. Trademarks of the Lego group must always be written in capital letters. If I feel like it, and I usually do that. But again, if I miss it, I don't care. Give your children Lego toys. Children love our Fabuland figures. Give your children Lego. Anyway, that's the written stuff. Always use the trademark as an uninflected adjective. So it says, let's play with Lego bricks. Lego building bricks have bright colors. Lego building bricks are well made and simple. More Lego building bricks give you more scope. Instead of let's play with Lego, it even says here, you can't, and this is and the people who are getting their knickers in a knot. You have to call it Lego. They're doing it wrong. It's right there. They're doing it wrong. There's a big red X. It says, let's play with Lego. No. If you want to be pedantic, it says, let's play with Lego building bricks. That's what the Lego company says in here. And again, they sent me one. they can say this all they want. And I will support them for putting this out there. So people who want to follow it can follow it. Absolutely. If you're that kind of fan that wants to follow this, I'm going to support you for following this. For you. If other people don't want to follow this, go away. Anyway, it says Lego has bright colors. You can't say that. No. You have to say Lego building bricks have bright colors. Lego is well made. More Legos give you more scope. Yeah, it's a big red X. Read it right there. More Legos give you more scope. Let's play with Lego. Big red X. So if you get as your response, and I read most of the responses in this thread, you can't say Legos, you have to say Lego. You got it wrong. You absolutely got it wrong because you didn't even follow their rules. Stop it. Just for the love of everything. Just enjoy the video. It was a cute video. And then, this is a great video. I'm going to go in the comments. And all of a sudden I'm just like, oh man, are you kidding me? It's just, it's like, OMG. We have bigger things to worry about than this. Again, to be clear, you want to say Lego bricks? I'm supporting you on that. For you to say it. The second you say to somebody else, and I read so many comments in that thread and elsewhere, that you are not a true fan, you're not a real fan, you're not a good fan, if you do not use the word Lego, again, you got it wrong from the book, and you say Legos. If you're not a true fan, you're not a good fan, you're not a enthusiastic fan, you're not a proper fan if you use the word Legos. And I tell you, if you have that mentality in your head, you're not a fan. You're not a fan of the community. You're not a fan of the builders. You're not a fan of other people who want to enjoy this hobby without being inundated every single time they use the word Legos. You're not a true fan because you're diminishing other people and their fandom. 100%. There's no other way of justifying what you just told that person. There's none. There's literally nothing out there for you to say to somebody else, telling them that they're not a true fan because they used the word Legos. I'm a true fan, dude. I'm not saying I'm the best fan. I'm not saying I'm the biggest fan. I'm not saying anything else like that. But I am a fan, and there's no doubt in anybody's mind who knows me that I'm like, there's no doubt that I'm a big fan of this company, of this product, of this hobby. There's no doubt in anybody's mind. And I'll use the word Legos anytime I feel like it. And you, if you have a problem with it, don't be here and do not come at me, bro. Do not come at that guy, bro. Do not come at anybody else who doesn't kowtow to you and your very, very small parameters of what constitutes a true fan versus not a true fan. It's absurd to me that you have the gall to tell somebody else they're not a true fan. That you we can get into the semantics. I know some fans that have a massively huge Lego collection, and yet they have bought some off-brand sets because they like Halo, because they like the other stuff that the other companies produce. I have never bought a Halo set. I've never bought a Mega Block set. I've never built a Build to Rule set. I've never bought any any off-brand sets literally ever. And when I get them in a used lot, they go right back to Value Village or they go in the trash can. There's no mega block here. Hopefully there's no mega block here. I put so much effort to make sure that my collection is Lego or Legos. I put a lot of effort into my collection. And again, out of all my friends, I have a pretty small collection, but to me, it's a pretty vast. Like I say 750,000 pieces. My wife says more. So I won't get into that. But this is my Legos. These are my Legos. This is my Lego collection, and it is Lego. It's 100% Lego. There are no clone brands in here at all. I won't stand for it. That's how I feel. But to my friends who also have substantive, large collections of Legos, and they bought off-brand because they wanted the Halo sets or whatever they came out with. I remember when the Mega Block came out with the Enterprise, which no Lego's going to do, which I'm going to buy. But they bought the off-brand because they're excited about that. And I'm going, I'm shaking my fist. You're not a true fan because you bought off-brand bricks. No, that is a ludicrously thing to say. It's like people who are Star Trek fans and all of a sudden they have a Star Wars video in their collection. You can't be a true Star Trek fan if you have Star Wars in your collection. It's absurd. This is literally absurd. And it's demeaning, and it's degrading, and it hinders, it hurts the entire fandom, our entire hobby. Every single time somebody gets online and says something degrading or demeaning to somebody else because that person is not a true fan to the person posting, just stop. If you want to be a toxic fan, you're not a fan. And that's across all, as I said, for the Star Treks and everything. If you want to be a toxic fan, you're not a true fan. That's my line. My line has always been, if you bring forth toxicity into our hobby, you are not a true fan. And those posts were toxic. Those responses to this cute little 30-second video were toxic to the fandom, to the hobby. I don't know if the guy cared who posted it in the first place. I don't know. I didn't read. I think he had some responses saying, "No, I'll call them Legos whenever I want," and I'm thumbs up every time he said that. But yeah, so water off a duck's back for him. But every single time I come across this, and I've come across this since the dawn of the internet. Because before the dawn of the internet, even though I had this since 1980, let's see when it was published. 1984 it was published, but I got it when we sent off Lego Wars. So probably 1985 or 1986 we got this. The other thing, and again, this is the Lego company. What they gave me when I sent them my wonderful video. And again, I'm not faulting them for that. They had every right to send me that letter from Harriet Jassen, the lawyer from Denmark, saying, these are our copyrights. Because again, I used their trademark, the logo, in my movie. Go watch it. Okay, it's a very bad Commodore 64 representation of the logo, but it was their logo nonetheless. And it's a new toy every day. I used their tagline. That's 100% their copyright, and they had every right to jump down on me for using that and telling me I can't use it and I cannot make any money off this movie. And that's 100% agreed with it. But they didn't. I don't remember. I can't remember if I have to read the legal letters again, if they actually said in the legal letters that I was misusing their name. I was talking about it, but they sent me this. But they also sent me this for free. So they think I'm a fan. Obviously I'm a fan. I made a movie using their stuff. And this is one of my favorite books of all time. Like I've downsized my book collection because I'm getting close to 60 and I didn't want hundreds of thousands of books in my house. So they all went to the thrift stores. Overall, I kept Asimov Foundation because it's literally the best book ever written. And I got my Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. but they sent me this book. I got this book. And I've read this book all the time. I go through it, and I adore this book. And it's dated now, but I don't care. there was some other stuff. There's some other swag that I got from that big tour that I had back in the day when I sent them the video. So they do a lot of stuff right. And even the trademark book, for them, they have to do it. And I applaud them for the effort. But there's nothing in that book that says I'm beholden, that I'm legally obligated, that anybody's legally or beholden. And there are people say, oh, but if you're a fan, that you would follow their rules. Dudes, I follow their rules as much as I possibly can that I think are just and right. If you want other rules that you think are just and right, you go follow them for you. But do not come down on anybody else who doesn't follow those rules. Do not. Because it's just toxicity. It's toxic gatekeeping. And to me, this is where my line is as they say, anything that detracts and degrades and diminishes another person's like joy and enthusiasm of this hobby is toxic. And that is not allowed for anybody, period, full stop. That's the line in the sand that we all should follow. Again, I'm not going to force it on you, because who am I? But for me, that's my line in the sand, and I believe it should be everybody else's. Anything that diminishes this hobby. I've been around this hobby on the internet since basically the dawn of the internet. And there's a lot of things that happened over the years that have now been relegated to the antiquities of time. But at the dawn of the internet, or the dawn of Lugnet, RTL groups, the news groups, and blah, 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 there was a lot of stuff that happened that overall is a positive influence. 99.9% of the Lego communities online have been positive, but there's been some really, really bad stuff once or twice over the years. I can think of one right off the top of my head where, again, I'm not going to mention names, and because I probably forgot them. The grand larceny of printing off. Well, I won't say what happened, but basically stealing, but without, Lego sets from stores, and doing it across state lines. So that was a huge takedown. It was a huge thing that happened, that was talked about in Lugnet for a long time. And there was other more untoward stuff that happened with a person that was not nice. And that detracted immensely to the appreciation of the hobby at that time, for me. So, but it was like, deal with it, move on, and be more situationally aware, shall we say, at shows and or displays and or whatever else, that you are not going to, even if you don't intend to, cause other people discomfort and or whatever. I don't think I have to walk down that path right now, but I remember a few times on Lugnet where the entire community was aware of situations that should not have happened, and we all had to take a sober second thought, because we want to be good representations of this hobby and not be besmirched by malcontents and ne'er-do-wells and stuff like that degraded and diminished and caused harm to others. Saying Legos isn't even in it. It's not bad. It's not wrong. It's 100% not wrong. And I will debate anybody on this topic at any time if they want to, because again, there's no law. There's not a trademark law. There's nothing to do with trademark. There's nothing to do. It's just what common people, using common parlance, talk about their beautiful hobby. And so if you want to debate that, come at me, bro. But you're not going to win. You're just not going to win at all, because you're just wrong. You're 100% wrong. And I get on there and I get on these threads and I say, you're wrong by saying that. that we have to call it Legos, or if you don't, if you call it Legos, you're wrong. No, if you tell other people that them calling it Legos is wrong, you're the one that's wrong. I think that made sense in my head. But anyway, that was 24 minutes. So this happens again sporadically, and I have to, I get my knickers in a knot because it happens, and I'm going, I just want it to be, it's never going to stop. It's literally never going to stop. There's always going to be those toxic fans who think they own the hobby, that they're better than everybody else, that they get to dictate to others what they can and cannot say about this hobby. And I'm going, you can stop now. You are not a true fan. You are not a good fan. You are a toxic fan. And no, not listening to you. No. These are my Legos. I got lots of them. I have a 750,000 Legos in this room. and I'll say Legos until the cow comes home. It's amazing to me that I will go through weeks and months and years of talking about my hobby, and all Lego bricks. This is my Lego collection. This is blah blah blah. I'll never use the word Legos, and yet, because I did read that book, and I don't think about it that much until somebody posts something like that. Until many people post something like that on one thread, and I'm going, you guys are just lost. You've lost the point. You've lost the appreciation. You've lost everything. You have to be pedantically focused and erroneously pedantically focused on the wrong thing. It's just getting out into the weeds and not actually caring about the actual hobby. You would just care about your influence and telling people your superiority, your fake superiority, your irrelevant superiority, your absolutely vacuous superiority over other fans. That's all you were doing. That's anybody who said that in that thread is not a true fan, in my opinion. and I backed it up. You're not, because you diminish the hobby. Somebody saying Legos not diminishing the hobby. You telling them that they said it wrong is diminishing the hobby. And I think after 27 minutes, that's going to be my bottom line. So stop doing it. Literally stop doing it, because it's wrong. You're bad for the hobby. You're bad for the fans. You're bad for that person. And forget me, because I'm nobody. And you make people not want to post stuff. You make people not want to share their passion for this hobby. You make people want to not get involved in this hobby because they think because you lambasted them for saying Legos, and they had every right to, but you lambasted them. So what's the point? What's the point of showing up? What's the point of, if I'm going to post something and it's a cute little video that's really, really fun to watch, and then there's a whole thread of idiots out there saying you're saying it wrong. You're saying it wrong. Then they're going to stop posting. They're going to leave the hobby. They're going to say, these guys are a bunch of malcontents. A bunch of pedantic malcontents. And again, I don't mind pedantry when it's warranted, like if whatever, but this isn't even warranted. This is, anyway, I was going to stop, and I keep on repeating myself. Stop being a pedantic prick. Stop. Just stop being pricks. Stop being toxic gatekeepers. And let other people call it whatever they want, as long as they're Lego. As long as they're Legos, then they can call it Legos. They can call it Lego. They can call it Lego bricks. They can call it whatever they want. As long as they don't call it Mega Block, they can call it. But they're having fun. They're calling it what they want. And you stopping them or trying to stop them from saying it and calling them not true fans, you're wrong. The end. Talk to you soon.